जय किशोर किशोरी, किशोर किशोरी, किशोर किशोरी जय किशोर किशोरी जय किशोर किशोरी जय किशोर किशोरी, किशोर किशोरी जय किशोर जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र, राधा वृंदावन चंद्र श्री राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ, राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ, जय राधा श्याम सुंदर, राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर, राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे। जय राधा मुरलीधर, राधा मुरलीधर श्री राधे। जय राधा जय गोविंद, जय गोपाल, केशव माधव दीन दयाल। जय गोविंद, जय गोपाल, केशव माधव दीन दयाल। जय गोविंद, जय गोपाल, केशव माधव दीन दयाल। जय गोविंद, जय गोपाल, केशव माधव दीन दयाल प्रभु, दीन दयाल, दीन दयाल प्रभु परम दयाल। दीन दयाल प्रभु, दीन दयाल, दीन दयाल प्रभु परम दयाल। श्याम सुंदर कन्हैया लाल, गिरिवर धारी नंद दुलाल। श्याम सुंदर कन्हैया लाल, गिरिवर धारी नंद दुलाल। नंद दुलाल प्रभु, नंद दुलाल, नंद दुलाल प्रभु, नंद दुलाल। नंद दुलाल प्रभु, नंद दुलाल, नंद दुलाल प्रभु, नंद दुलाल। हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। जयनिताय, 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 जयनिताय। जय नित्यानंद राम, नित्यानंद राम, नित्यानंद राम, जय नित्यानंद राम, जय नित्यानंद राम, जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol नाम संकीर्तन जय श्री गोपाल की जय। Welcome everyone to Srimad Bhagavatam discussion, where mainly the speaker speaks and this discussion is welcomed. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपास्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम् Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 13, verse number 2. केते प्रचेतासो नामा केते प्रचेतसो नामा कश्यापत्यानि सुव्रत कश्यापत्यानि सुव्रत कश्यापत्यानि सुव्रत कश्यान्ववाये प्रख्यातः कश्यान्वावाये प्रख्यातः कुत्र वा सत्रमासत पुत्र वा सत्रमासत एते प्रचेतसो नाम कश्यापत्यानि सुव्रत कश्यान्ववाये प्रख्याता कुत्र वा सत्रमासत
विदुर उवाच
विदुर उवाच
केते प्रचेतसो नाम
एते प्रचेतसो नाम
कस्यापत्यायनी सुव्रत
कस्यापत्यायनि सुव्रत
कस्यान्ववाये प्रख्यायताः
कस्यान्ववाये प्रख्याता
पुत्र वा सत्रमासत
कुत्र वा सत्रमासाथ
विदुर उवाच
विदुर उवाच एते प्रचेतसो नाम
पश्यामि सुव्रता
कस्यापत्यानि सुव्रत
कस्यान्वावाय प्रख्यातः
कश्चान्ववाये प्रख्याता कुत्र वा सत्रमासत विदुर उवाच एते प्रचेतसो नाम कस्यापत्यानि सुव्रत कस्यान्ववाये प्रख्यातः कुत्र वा सत्रमासत विदुरुवाच
उवाच
एते प्रचेतासो नाम
एते प्रचेतासो नाम
कस्यापत्यानि सुव्रत
कस्यापत्यानि सुव्रत
कस्यान्ववाये प्रख्यात
कस्यान्ववाये प्रख्यात
कुत्र वा सत्रमासत
कुत्र वा सत्रमासतः
word to word Vidur uvacha
विदुर उवाच
Vidur inquired
where
ते
ते
they
ते
प्रचेतासः प्रचेतसः
प्रचेतासः
प्रचेतसः
प्रचेतासः
the प्रचेतास
प्रचेतासः
nama
नाम
of the name
of the name
Kashya
कस्य
whose
whose
apatyani
अपत्यानि
sons
sons
Suvrata
सुव्रत
O Maitreya who have taken an auspicious vow
O Maitreya who have taken an auspicious vow
Kashya
कस्य
whose
whose
Anvaye
अन्वाये
Anvavaye
अन्ववाये
in the family
the family
Prakhyataha
प्रख्यातः
famous
famous
Putra
पुत्र
where
वे
Va
वा
also
also
Satram
तत्रं
the sacrifice
the sacrifice
Asata
asata
was performed.
was performed.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Vidur inquired from Maitreya, O greatly advanced devotee, who were the Prachetas? To which family did they belong? Whose sons were they? And where did they perform the great sacrifices? Where did they perform the great sacrifices? Purport. The great Narada's singing in the previous chapter of 3 verses in the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas gave another impetus to Vidur to ask further questions. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे नाम एव केवलम कलो नास्तेव नास्तेव नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा. So I feel very unqualified, not at all qualified, so to speak, to sit here and speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, but as a matter of duty, that I'm trying to share something what I read, and insult to the injury is very small purport. So I will take the so I will take the opportunity of take shelter of Narada Muni here and go back to read the translation of these three wonderful verses that he glorified um, Dhruv Maharaj in the previous verse. So that starts with actually, when I went back and read the translation of all the last few verses in the last chapter, it's so amazing how wonderfully Shukadeva Goswami is sharing. And if time permits, we should read all the translation. It's so sweet. And then I'll try to add few things that comes to mind. Um, so after this is verse number 40. After observing the glories of Dhruv Maharaj, the great sage Narad, playing his veena, went to the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas and very happily chanted the following three verses. Narada Muni Bajai Veena, Radhika Raman Name. So in our, it's unfortunate how Narada Muni is portrayed into our TV serials and movies, especially, you know, sad to say that the category is mythological movies. It's very sad how our own people, not understanding the value of our Vedic culture, Vedic scriptures, have put the word mythology. We call it mythology for America, but it is myth. Mythology, the root word comes from myth. Myth is something that is not true. And that all these Vedic scriptures, Vedic stories, documented histories, is put into that category of myth. Very sad. And there is no one. We are actually very, very low in number, very small in number, who is, first of all, this world is full of atheists. No one needs God. No one wants God. Even if there is existence of God, people want to deny that very, very out, very, very, uh, strongly. Out of those believers, people who believe in person, a God is person, are very rare. Out of those, our number is very, very small. But Srila Prabhupada's mercy, he has said, and it is our good fortune that Krishna consciousness will save this world in its darkest hour. 10,000 years from the Mahaprabhu's advent, we have this benediction that we will be able to practice One time Indradumna Maharaj was in New York City and we were on the Harinam. And Maharaj was so happy and jubilant chanting, which Shri Prahlad Prabhu was there. This was like around 2004, 2005, I think. First time Maharaj came after so many years to America, back to America. He was in Europe and other parts, Poland and other places. And then he was genuinely appreciating the opportunity to spread the holy name and the bhakti, practicing, able to practice the bhakti in open, not in incognito, not like somebody will give us trouble if someone sees us chanting a different faith. All the other Islamic countries that we go or have experienced, devotees really have to practice, within the four walls. They can't go out. So this opportunity for us, being in the association of devotees, being out there, actually we are being facilitated in America and other places. If you want to do something spiritual or religious, they have special regard for it. One time I was with Ram Rai Prabhu and we were doing this initial days of Harinam, Sri and NYC Harinam, New York City Harinam, and we were like trying to occupy the place at Union Square, and we were like trying to set up, and the two three policemen came, and we were like little scared, like what are they going to do to us? And they said and came in. One of like two of us were standing, and they said, "Is this something religious?" And I was perplexed, and I was like, whether to say yes or no, you know. Then we looked at each other, and we have to tell the truth. If they find out this is something religious, then it's a problem. So very reluctantly I said, Yes. Oh, okay, that's okay." And they let us alone. So if it's something religious here in America, people don't really bother so much. Even the government and the officials let you practice because the freedom of choice of religion, freedom of spirituality. We are very fortunate in so many ways here. So moving along with these three verses, verse number 41, the great sage Narad said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of the Vedic principles, not to speak of or what Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings. Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Bhagavan ki jai, Nitai Patita Pavan Gauri Bhagavan ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage, verse 42, the great sage Narad continued, just see how Dhruv Maharaj, aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years, and under my direction underwent austerity. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruv Maharaj defeated him with specific qualifications possessed by the Lord's devotees. And verse number 43 is, Dhruv Maharaj attained an exalted position at the age of 5 or 6 years. After undergoing austerity for 6 months, alas, a great Kshatriya cannot achieve such a position even after undergoing austerities for many years. Here, I am reminded of Shukadeva Goswami's um, appreciation for Parikshit Maharaj when the pastime of Aghasur was narrated. Then Parikshit Maharaj was very attentively listening, and Shukadeva Goswami said that For 1 year, this incident was not shared with the Brajvasis. And immediately, Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, why? Why this was not shared for 1 year? And then Parikshit Maharaj appreciated his attentiveness and said, this secret will be shared. Why this 1 year? Because of, obviously, we all know that Brahma Vimohan Leela and Krishna expanded himself into all the calves and um, coward boys. And, and that is the reason why he couldn't. So, same way here also, um, Maitreya Muni is sharing with Vidurji, and he's saying, going back to, listening to those 3 verses, uh, when he said Narad Muni went to the sacrifices, uh, a sacrificial arena or the places where the sacrifice was done by Prachetas, he spoke these 3 verses in that assembly. So, um, Vidurji wanted to ask, who are these individuals? Who are these people? This is Srila Prabhupada here explains in the in the verse purport is very small, and he says the great Narada singing in the previous chapter of 3 verses in the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas gave another impetus to Vidur ask further questions. Ask further questions about Prachetas. Ask for further question about who are these, and then we'll have more description, more understanding about this Prachetas, how Prachin were his children, and they meet Lord Shiva, get the Rudra Gita, and they continue their severe austerities, and how to really meditate on Lord Krishna. They will be shared this information. But this is how a devotee, a person who has interest about hearing Krishna or Krishna's pastimes or his expansion and his Leela, would be so attentive and so keen to know more about. I heard this sentence very, very in the early days of my Krishna consciousness. And
Repeat that again.
which one?
This last sentence.
Yeah, this sentence I'm going to speak now, that you cannot love somebody if you don't know him, right? So the first qualification of loving someone is to know him. And whole process of bhakti, and actually our existence is in this material world, we are sent here to develop enough love for Krishna. That is the real deal. If we have enough love for Krishna, we don't really need to go physically anywhere, because that is the spiritual world. We are here because we don't have enough love, especially I can speak for myself. I don't have enough love for Krishna. That's why I have all the other things that I am thinking that will make me happy. And Rasik Bhuvi Prabhu the other day shared a very nice, very, very nice thing, that when somebody is sharing some pastime, sharing some Leela, something about Krishna, immediately the mind's job is to, Are, you know this. You read 10 times, you heard 10 times. Immediately, if the mind is not a friend, if mind is you have cultivated the mind as your friend, then mind will push you to hear. But somebody like me who is just once in a blue moon opens a book and hears or something like that, mind will immediately say, Are, you have read this, you have heard this. So he said, very nice. He said, what is new when you hear this pastime that you have heard already is that the cleansing of the heart is happening one more time. Even when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we have to have this firm belief. There's this mantra that I'm chanting, that one word, every single syllable, every single mantra, every single, you know, energy or the breath that I'm taking or energy that I'm taking to chant this mantra is purifying me, is helping me become better, is helping me come out of this bhavarog where I have somehow or the other decided to enjoy separately from Krishna. And I've been given this material body to go through, you know, to enjoy separately from Krishna. But I know I will not be happy. At least in theory, I have concluded. That's why I'm trying to practice this path of spirituality. That I know by seeing the examples, by seeing this time and again. But still, as someone is trying to get the milk from the, there is a udder-like thing in the goats, in the near the neck of the goat. Sometimes you see the udders, and people try to. If you try to get the milk out of that, is there any possibility to get any milk from that? But that is what our position is: trying to get milk from the udder-like, skin extensions from the neck of the goat, that too also sometimes male goat. you know that that is what we are doing. It sounds so funny, it sounds so ridiculous, but that is the reality. That is the reality that individuals in the material world trying to be happy separately from God. Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabh Bhagavan ki jai. Nitai Patitapana Gaurahi Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So this pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj is glorified in the next few verses. If you allow me to read, it is so sweet, so amazing. So the great sage Maitreya continued. Yeah, this is it. My dear Vidur, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruv Maharaj, I have explained to you in all detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruv Maharaj, including Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By hearing the narration of Dhruv Maharaj, one can fulfill desires for wealth, reputation, and increased duration of life. It is so auspicious that one can even go to a heavenly planet or attain Dhruvaloka, which was achieved by Dhruv Maharaj, just by hearing about him. The demigods also become pleased because this narration is so glorious and it is so powerful that it can counteract all the results of one's sinful actions. So why this is glorified in such a way is because Srila Prabhupada wrote one of the small books that he wrote is Easy Journey to Another Planets, right? So for those intelligent people who have the mass of people that who would like to read about something or know about something and act on it. So when you read the pastime, why it is glorified as you get all this exalted position and reputation and wealth, because we come to know that even after achieving all of that, Dhruv Maharaj, what did he select? Bhakti. Opportunity to practice bhakti with his devotion, with loving devotees, in the association of the loving devotees. So by these examples, our faith in bhakti becomes more stronger. We become more serious. We become more sincere. That even after getting everything, even after having, when someone says, you know, if you go to New York, the traffic is so bad. New York City, the traffic is so bad. You have to be very, very careful in driving. So we prepare ourselves before moving or driving, or when you fly into JFK or LaGuardia, then you rent a car and then you come out. We have this understanding if you're coming for the first time that the traffic is really bad. So we prepare ourselves. Same way, here it is shared that even if you get everything, what is shared here, that you get all of this. You might argue that I don't have all of this. I want to experience personally having after all of this, after getting all of this, then I might want to decide. But a person who already has it, on the other day, our Amrish Prabhu's example, somebody was sharing that I have everything. This, he was addressing the group of students who were just about to graduate. That I have everything for last 30 years, but practicing ability or opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness is the highest. All this material opulence. So having all these material opulences, as Dhruv Maharaj already have, he decided he wanted, because of Bhagavan Vishnu's presence, and he got a higher understanding that he wants to practice. And after that, Bhagavan Vishnu gave him everything, whatever was needed. Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruv Maharaj and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and executes pure devotional service. By such activities, one can diminish the threefold misery, threefold miserable conditions of material life. बंद करो ना उसको. You can just फोन ही है.
फोन ही है, फोन में, बट यहाँ पे वो कम.
अरे मेरे पास मेरा ही, सॉरी, forgive me.
अब नहीं चलेंगे.
Anyone who hears this narration of Dhruv Maharaj acquires exalted qualities like him. For anyone who desires greatness, prowess, or influence, here is the process by which to acquire them. And for thoughtful men who want adoration, here is the proper means. So bhakti gives you everything. Bhakti actually gives you, the process of bhakti gives you everything. Why listening or hearing or reading this pastime is considered bhakti is because it gives you strong message that when you come in, let's not worry about how to be face to face with Bhagavan, right? Because we might feel, oh, I cannot do this kind of austerities, it's too difficult for me to do this. But let's not worry about that. What happens after you are on face to face with God? What happens? What is one's desire, a devotee's desire? How do they lead their life after that? That is the take home message here. Because we are feeling utterly unqualified about taking a breath every 6 days or whatever the austerities that are prescribed by Narad Muni. Even after performing all this, he came in face to face with Bhagavan, and what he desired. So by if we read here and with faith, with firm conviction, that knowing or reading about this, the devotees of God, devotees of Krishna, our heart is purified. Verse number 48. The great sage Maitreya recommended one should chant of the character and the activities of Dhruv Maharaj both in the morning and in the evening with great attention and care in a society of Brahmanas or other twice born persons. Our culture, Vedic culture, is so wonderful that in the morning and the evening after the work, people would gather together and discuss about Ramayana, Mahabharata, this kind of Bhagavatam, these stories, Dhruva stories, and that culture is actually decaying day by day. I can see I'm even 30, 40 years back, the grandparents and those who really loved their children, they would say these stories, you know, in the night time while sleeping, at the time of sleeping, we have the experience, we have seen with our own eyes that these are the stories that were told with Lord Ramchandra's pastime or Krishna Bhagavan's pastime or this devotee's pastime. But that is actually being taken away or taken over by these cell phones and videos, and hardly we don't see that anything like that. So our task or our job is to really bring back that culture of putting faith in our scriptures, in our wonderful process of how we can facilitate Krishna consciousness for anyone who is around us. Verse number 49 and 50. One more verse to go, and then I will conclude. Persons who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord should recite this narration of Dhruv Maharaj without taking remuneration. Specifically, recitation is recommended on the full moon or dark moon day, on the day after Ekadashi, on the appearance of Shravan star, at the end of a particular tithi or the occasion of Vyatipat, at the end of the month or on Sunday. Such recitations should, of course, be performed before a favorable audience. What more favorable audience we can have than what I have right now? Thank you so much. When recitation is performed this way without professional motive, the reciter and the audience become perfect. The narration of Dhruv Maharaj is sublime knowledge for the attainment of immortality. Persons are unaware of the absolute truth can be led to the path of truth. Those who, out of transcendental kindness, take on the responsibility of becoming master protectors of the poor living entities automatically gain the interest and blessings of the demigods. The transcendental activities of Dhruv Maharaj are well known all over the world, and they are very pure. In childhood, Dhruv Maharaj rejected all kinds of toys and playthings, left the protection of his mother, and seriously took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. My dear Vidur, I therefore conclude this narration, for I have described to you all its details. Amazing that last line, that it requires sincere, serious practice. You know, Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. We have heard this shloka. In one sense, it is true that all the demigods, all the other devatas get their power to, bestow the, benedictions on a living entity who is trying to please them, comes from there. So in one sense, that shloka is right. But in the other sense, it is very, very misleading, that it feels like justifying doing anything and everything that will get you to the final destination, which is very wrong. It's very sad, actually. So, you know, Akashat patitam toyam. When the water falls from the sky, Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram. Like that, all the water, whatever is coming from the sky, goes to the sagar or the ocean. Sarvadeva namaskaram, keshavam pratigacchati. So in one sense it is right, but it's a very, very long path. And there are a lot of permutations and combinations, and we have been going around in circles and circles, circles. But if you sincerely practice even demigod worship, somehow or the other, if you're sincere, Krishna will, they will guide you to Krishna. They will lead you to Krishna. We have so many examples currently practicing Krishna consciousness very sincerely. I have personal interactions with so many other devotees that they were Lord Shiva worshippers or Durga Devi worshippers. But if you sincerely continue to serve them, it will that practice will lead to Krishna, because ultimately they want what is best for you. But if you consider that is they are the ultimate and be close-minded, then it's another opportunity. We have to wait for another opportunity. Thank you again for tolerating me. Please forgive me. I went 13 minutes above, but I really was enlivened and happy to reread all these wonderful shlokas. And Bhagavatam is like that, full of so many wonderful, you know, words of encouragement, I would say. That gives us more and more um, impetus to practice bhakti sincerely and seriously. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय,
कृष्ण कुमार प्रभु की जय।
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव। Anyone has any
क्या
comment?
क्लास दिए सर?
Roji, please. Thank you.
Which I have a question for you. My question is that this is very important actually, that Dhruva Maharaj, he attained the perfection. Many devotees have attained perfection in many time, place, circumstances. I mean, specifically speaking about our acharyas. So, could you highlight on what we can take from this lesson? Uh, so, uh, so that we can also become, because Dhruva Maharaj had this desire that he wanted to see the Lord face to face, and once he saw the Lord face to face, everything happened. He awakened his spiritual senses. He immediately complete distaste for all material things. Everything happened. Extreme attraction, so many things. So in the process of course, there are other points also, but in the process of practicing devotional service, I mean, to come to the perfection, Dhruva Maharaj never wavered. So, if you can shed some light on that, the determination, the what can be the best impetus to develop such kind of strong determination in devotional service.
So our Shamkishar Prabhuji is asking that so many sincere devotees have achieved perfection in so many different ways, but from the Dhruva Maharaj's pastimes, what do we, what is the one thing or something that is so important or critical that made Dhruva Maharaj achieve the perfection? So I think the last last text that we read is very important. In childhood, Dhruva Maharaj rejected all kinds of toys and playthings, left the protection of his mother, and seriously took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. That is the that is what puts him separate, or I think that is what the uh, uh, one single thing that made him achieve what he achieved. because it is not easy for a 5-year-old to, leave playing things, or okay, how can I go to the, forest just by myself? Just that thought itself is so frightening, right? To have that determination. So that is why Dhruva, that single pointed attention to achieve what is really what is really worthy of achieving, or at least what he felt, that okay, I can't sit on my father's lap. I want kingdom better than my great grandfather. What do I do? I'm so enraged, so angry. Mother says only Lord Vishnu can do it. And how Lord Vishnu can do it? Okay, he can do it. Okay, now I have to see him to get this. That single pointed, or that thing in his heart of heart was so strong, that made him. So for us as practicing sadhakas, it's so easy to sit here and speak, but that one pointed attention to please Krishna and please the devotees, serve in the right mood, that is what is going to make us achieve, or at least get us the advancement that is needed. That's what I would say, Prabhu. Please add something, anything you want to share.
The trust, like Prabhuji, the mother's word. He trusts mother's word, and he trusted that God will come and can ask. The trust is base. We don't have that.
Yes.
We don't have.
So true. Priya Mataji was sharing that trust in Guru's words. We are very fortunate to have the visit by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that we'll have opportunity to listen from him. So the trust in Guru's words, trust in the saintly personalities, that they are whatever they are saying. Why this pastimes of saintly devotees are glorified so much? Because it time and again gives us the indication that this will help you, this will help you, don't do anything else, this will help. But still I'm so dull minded that I feel no, that is okay, that story, yeah, I know it. So so that is what I would say. Mataji is saying that, but that is also true. The firmness to practice, and the steadfastness to put our trust into Guru's words and to follow it along, is both are the combination of Dhruv Maharaj's success. Thank you again.
The other word for trust is faith, right? What's a faith? I think
Trust, faith, or
conviction.
conviction.
When you talk about Krishna Maharaj, those who have read his traveling preacher's diary, and Maharaj is genuinely appreciating that opportunity is given to me. My God, he's telling opportunity, but it is horrible scene, right? When he's going through Europe and all, he's telling the Maharaj
Journey
to
home.
preach.
No, Indradumna Maharaj's
In the
diary of traveling preacher.
initial days, we were getting those diaries, smaller diaries.
They were still printing it.
Yeah.
Now.
And he's still saying it is opportunity given to me.
You composed a book.
He
Yes,
would
it's,
print
small
every
things.
few years. He would print one.
Actually, one of my favorite persons, Junda Maharaj, he narrates it that in Prabhupada's time, he said one day he and one devotee, they distributed book for 1 month.
Yeah.
And they stayed in some station, some railway station, and they barely didn't have anything to eat. So he said the fruit of that was that he got to bathe Prabhupada's lotus feet, and he drank it all, and he said, so yeah, they really worked very hard to please Prabhupada.
Just like attending Kirtan with Ramaraya Prabhu in cold days of New York. It is not opportunity. I never felt opportunity. I attend only thrice in a year. And Ramanaya Prabhu is doing 10 years, saying that it is opportunity. That's greatness of this devotees.
Thank you for bringing that up. That we get the opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness is our good fortune. And this reminds me of one devotee called Shrikant Prabhu. He was New York City Rath Yatra cooking 3 days continuously. He wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And somebody would say, come and say, Prabhu, what is this? You take some rest. He said, this Jagannath cooking is not going to stop. It is my good fortune that I'm able to do the service. If I don't do it, somebody else will do, because this prasadam has to be, bhoga has to be prepared and offered to Jagannath. So have that firm conviction that whatever the time that I have to engage in Krishna's service. To get that, we have to continuously pray and be in this association of saintly devotees like you, that we get this opportunity. Thank you again. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.